thrilled to have here on the Rich Eisen Show, Ken Griffey Sr. How are you, sir?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So what'd you think about your son getting in with darn near 100% of the vote?
Well, we didn't think it was going to be that high. We had an idea he had a chance of getting in, but to get in with the most votes, that's something special.
When was the first time you realized Junior had a special talent for the game?
Well, when he was younger. I mean, I couldn't strike him out after he was 14 years old, so I knew I had something special then.
Well, what were you dealing? Were you dealing fastballs? Were you trying to break one off on him?
No, I was doing everything but the kitchen sink at him when he between ages 12 till he was about 14 up in New York when I was with the Yankees.
Yeah. And so you would take him out there at Yankee Stadium for BP, or is that what you were trying to? Where would these go down? Where would that take place?
Well, he was at home. He was in Cincy. He was living in Cincy, actually.
Sure.
I still had my home in Cincinnati, but I was living in New York because I was with the Yankees. And on the weekends, he wanted to come up and watch some of the games and get a chance to hang with me because he hadn't done it all summer. So when he came up, he got himself in a little trouble. He came up, and he thought he was going to get a spanking, but he was about 12 then, but that wasn't going to happen. So I asked him if he wanted to do anything, and I said, well, come on, let's go to the Yankee Stadium, and we'll just I'll throw you batting practice. And it became a kind of a little thing between the two of us that when he came up, we'd go early, he'd take batting practice in the cages, and that would be it. And I would throw him, when he told me he wanted to be a major league player, then I had to change my tactics and how I was throwing to him, because before I would just throw him, let him hit it, and enjoy him, let him get his swing down so he can just take batting practice, and that was about it. But when he told me he wanted to be a major league player, then I changed our way of going about doing practice and then taking BP. So I wouldn't tell him what I was throwing him. And I throw curveballs and change-ups and sliders, and I throw a little bit of everything. But by the time he hit 14, he had made so many good adjustments about hitting that I couldn't strike him out anymore. So I knew I had something special then.
Did he ever go front porch, right field? Did he ever do that as a teenager?
What you mean? No, we never went outside. We were in the cage.
Oh, you were in the cage. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you I thought you just went right out there. So you're in the cage, and he's in the bowels of the old Yankee Stadium.
Right.
With
that's
you.
That's where we went. We went so nobody could bother us, and we were down in the cages all the time.
Did you always want? I'm on the phone with Ken Griffey Sr. right now. Did you want him to be a major leaguer? I mean, what was your sense of it?
It was his choice. I mean, he could play. He could have went to college and played football too. I mean, he was a good football player, wide receiver from Moreland High School. Mm-hmm. His junior year, he played very well. They won the state championship that year. But his senior year, he decided that he wanted to play baseball, and he just did not play football that year. So he ended up just playing baseball.
Well, there's a story I also heard, too. I'd love for you to confirm it or to talk about it, if so, that in the fourth grade, he started imitating all your Big Red Machine teammates and and the batting stances, and you told him not to do that anymore. Is that true?
Not really.
Okay. That's
I heard that story the other day, and I'm still wondering where it came from, because when he was, sixth, seventh grade, he can do what he wanted to do. He can change swings. When he started to really play, he tried to emulate me, how I hit, and I told him, when you start getting older, you're gonna get a little taller. I knew he was gonna be a lot taller than I was. At the time he was 12, he was taller than me, 6 foot. And I knew he still had, a couple more years to grow. And I looked up, he was 6'3", pretty close to 6'4". And I knew he could drive the ball. And I told him he's going to end up probably changing his stance more, change his stance when he got ready, because he could drive the ball to right center, left center, and, out of each part of the ballpark. So I didn't have any problems with him, emulating players, but I knew he was going to eventually do his own thing and have his own stance, and everybody tried to emulate his stance now, or his batting stance, yeah.
What was it like playing with him, Ken?
Different. Like I said, I played with so many great players. Geronimo at center field. I played with Jerry Humphreys, Omar Marino. I had Winfield at one time in center field, and but to play with him, first of all, it's your son. And second, I didn't know he can cover that much ground and he was that good because I hadn't seen him play, during his times he was really in high school. And everyone told me he's probably going to go number one in the draft. And I told Bobby Cox, who was our general manager when I was with the Braves at that time, I told Bobby he couldn't hit. Bobby said, what? I said, well, he hadn't got a hit in front of me since he was 12. And this was right before he was turned 17, or rather 18. And, I just told Bobby, I said, he just doesn't hit right now. I said, eventually he probably will. But I mean, I knew that, but I was just joking when I said it. Mm-hmm. But, I didn't know he was going to go number one. Brian Goldberg, who is his manager, his agent right now, Brian told me that he was going to go number one.
And now he's the he's the highest drafted player ever to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And
yeah, that's a very special moment for him. I know, and I was very proud. I'm just proud that he handled himself so well during the time he played Major League Baseball in any sport, really, especially baseball.
It did seem, from my perspective, I'm with Ken Griffey Sr. Here on the Rich Eisen Show. Maybe this is just because, I bled pinstripes and I've rooted quite a bit for you, and you did also break my heart with the Big Red Machine when I was a young lad as well. It did seem that your son saved his best for Yankee Stadium. Would that be a true story from your perspective, Ken? He really just saved it.
I don't know. Like I said, I've heard the same thing you have. I've heard stories about that. I was there when he made that catch against Jesse Barfield. Mm-hmm. I was in the stands when he made that catch.
Climbing up the wall.
Yeah, he's always comparing my catch with his catch. Which one was the best? He said my dismount wasn't that good. I said, yeah, but I was 37 years old. I said, you was only 19 when you made your catch. You had better legs under you.
Yeah, it just always seemed he saved his best there. I am, obviously, since you're with your Cincinnati ties and your ties to the Big Red Machine, et cetera, do you think when your son's going to get his plaque in there, do you think Pete Rose deserves to be in the same room when it's all said and done?
I still think what Pete did out on the field, he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. But, all the other things, about the gambling, you got to understand the gambling rule. We had in every locker room, and it was big as day. As soon as you open the locker room door, you see the gambling rule staring you in the face. And all those years, he said he didn't gamble, and then all of a sudden he wrote the book and said he did gamble. It's, my perspective is that what he did out on the field when he was a player, it's deserving of a Hall of Fame induction.
But all the other stuff, when it comes down to it, that's why he has the lifetime ban.
That's the reason why he's probably been banned for life is because of the gambling.
Do you and Joe and Johnny and everyone else, Tony Perez, just get sick of having to answer the question? I know I just asked it.
We don't get sick of it, but at the same time, it's old hat. It's almost, 40 years now?
It feels like it. Yeah.
Yeah, close. I don't know when he started to gamble in terms of with his teams and all that. I don't know if he started when he was a manager or what, but I couldn't tell you. But yeah, we get tired of him. And as a matter of fact, this weekend I think I got to go see George Foster and Davey Concepcion and Geronimo. We're going to be doing something up in New York anyway.
Mm-hmm. Ken, look, I know you don't do this a lot. I'm honored you called into the show and to celebrate your son and enjoy the ride that's going to come here in 2016 all the way to that beautiful meadow in Cooperstown, New York. Congratulations.
I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. It's all for him. I used to tell people, I tease him a lot. I told him that I had all the rings, and he got all the home runs, and I got all the rings. But and I told him the other day, I said, well, you got the big one now.
Yeah, he's got the plaque. He's going to be in there. And again, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks again for calling in. That's Ken Griffey Sr. here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.